In this meeting, I'll give an introduction to clinical attributes in Annotator for Clinical Data Configuration Editor. So let me switch over to the tool. You can see that I'm in the Lupus cartridge, and this cartridge has a dictionary added to it called UMLS 2019 AA. So the UMLS dictionary provides multiple different concepts within it, and I have some sample text here. And so if I run this sample text with this particular dictionary, you can see that I find a whole bunch of different concepts within here. Now, this is good, but we also have the ability for you to use these concepts and bubble them up to a higher level of to obtain certain pieces of information that you want to extract out from that unstructured text. And possibly, if there is a value within that text, with the unstructured text, you can also extract out that value for that particular concept as well. And to do that, then we would use what's called a clinical attribute set. So I come over here to create, say, new clinical attribute set. I give it a name. If I want to, I can give it a set of tags to be able to find it easy. I also have ability to set the permissions as to who has access to it. And then I define what version of UMLS I'm using. And since I have 2019 in my cartridge, I'm going to set that to 2019. If I wanted to extend another attribute set that I want to, reuse that one attribute, then I select that box and select the attribute to use. So now I'm going to go ahead and say create. Now I have that attribute set in my cartridge, and it's empty. So let me go ahead and add some concepts. There's various different ways that you can build your attributes, and let me show you the first one, which is by type. So if I want to extract all concepts of a certain type and assign it to a specific attribute, then I would follow this method. So for example, inside my unstructured text, I had the drug amoxicillin. So amoxicillin is an antibiotic. So if I want to find all antibiotics, then I can give this attribute antibiotic name, and I say I want to find all concepts where the type of the concept is equaling an antibiotic. And notice I'm not saying amoxicillin here, I'm just saying by this specific type. And so I say save, we can come back to preview mode and we rerun. And now I have a clinical attribute up here on the right. It's the value, the name of it is antibiotics, and it was matching on amoxicillin, and it highlights it over on the left-hand side for the attribute. Now, another type of attribute is, suppose I want to not match on type, but this time I want to match based on a specific CUI. So, for example, I might a particular lab value that's very important on helping identify lupus is called ANA, or anti-nuclear antibodies. So if I give it a name, and then I can come here and say, okay, I want to match when the concept equaling concept identifier is equal to anti-nuclear antibodies. I select that, I say save, and then we come back to preview and we rerun. And now I have ANA attribute that is matching on the unstructured text ANA, and it is matching based on, or giving me the value of positive, because that's what's being pulled out from my unstructured text here. Let's see. Another type is if we were to create, give it a specific value. So maybe I want to group certain concepts together and define a value for that particular item. So it might be important in your use case to pull out all drugs related to lupus. So if we say we want to call this lupus drugs, and I select a value, and now I want to now further categorize those lupus drugs into the different types of lupus drugs. So one could be anti-malarial. And we say we wanted to match where the concept is Plaquenil. And Plaquenil happens to be an anti-malarial drug. And then the next could be an immunosuppressive. And we can give it protopic. And with protopic, if I wanted to expand it to any of its children, I could come here and select this tree, and this will open up the concept in the tree structure of the dictionary of UMLS. So here you can see on the left, the green dot is my protopic concept, and then it has all these 4 different children concepts. And so I can just simply right-click on the root and it selects all 4 children. I could have individually selected them with my left mouse click. And I also have the ability up here to say, automatically include any of the children and say how many levels deep by checking that checkbox. And by the way, this checkbox here is useful as over time, if you migrate for different versions of UMLS, right? Every year there's new versions of UMLS that come out. And if you want your cartridge to support the new version, if you would have said automatically include the children, if the new version of UMLS added new concepts here as children, then they would automatically be added in as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save, and you can see all my concepts here were added as the match fields. And then we save this. We come back to my preview mode and we rerun. And now you're going to see lupus drugs. It's identifying Plaquenil. It's giving it the value of anti-malarial. It's identified protopic and giving it the value of immunosuppressive. So the 4th type of attribute that we can add in here is being able to match using the out-of-the-box cartridges. So if you want to, say, identify if this patient is a smoker, I can type in the a name of smoker. And then down here, rather than matching on concept, I click the down arrow, and you can see all of the out-of-the-box annotators that we have within Annotator for clinical data. So in this situation, since I'm looking for smoking, I want to select the smoker annotator. And I want it to match on current because I only want to look at current smokers, and I want that value to be true. And I say save. So I come back over to my preview mode, and now since this smoker annotator is not added to my flow by default, I have to come in here and say to actually run that smoking annotator. So here I can select, I want you to run smoking. You can leave everything else the same and say run. And so now it ran the out-of-the-box smoking annotator, and it bubbled it up into the results into a clinical attribute because inside my unstructured text it's saying he is a smoker, and it is giving it a value of 1 pack because in the structured text it says he smokes 1 pack of cigarettes a day. So these are just different ways that you can use the clinical attributes to extract out certain insights from your unstructured text based on your particular use case or particular domain.